Alright. Hear me out. Today is Monday, October the 23rd, 2023. This is So Says Mr. Thunder. I'm Mr. Thunder. And if this is your first time coming to the podcast, thank you for making it here. It's been one hell of a ride thus far, and I just can't wait to see where it goes. For those of you who are returning, definitely, I really appreciate you, because if it wasn't for you or y'all, then the new people wouldn't be here, right? That's how I like to look at it. But anyways, last week I talked about influence and using it, and those matters, right? But I still am figuring this thing out, right? And it's funny how things come to you. They put themselves or present themselves in a way to where things just start making sense. And I had to think about what that means. What's that look like? And I keep hearing I guess certain words used to be a defining, I guess, tool for something like this. And it's like an algorithm, right? And that's the word that I just keep hearing is algorithm, right? And I'm like, man, why does everything that's happening usually associate itself with like an algorithm, right? Talk about, you hear that most commonly now, algorithms and social media, how you could be talking and you feel like you're just thinking about something, but somehow the phone, every time you pick up your phone, there's some type of indicator of what you've been talking about, like the web page or just a link to something, or it comes up as a suggestion on your Facebook or Instagram feed. It's so crazy. You could be talking about chicken, and next thing you know, tomorrow you have a whole bunch of chicken ads or advertisements on Facebook or pages on Instagram and things like that. So funny how that works, right? But usually there's a process for that, right? I mean, by definition, algorithm is a process or set of rules to be followed in calculations or other problem solving operations. Now, usually this is associated with computers or some type of mathematics, but in life, I believe there's algorithms too, right? These algorithms are designed to capture data in a way that it gets processed into somehow making sense. And it's not always like an immediate, I guess, revelation or an immediate answer or just an immediate understanding. There's a process behind it. And I find myself landing in the same spot sometimes when it comes to, when I'm trying to figure out what my algorithm is, right? And it's funny how I'll be having a conversation with somebody and, just be generalizing whatever's going on in life. And at that moment, you have, I guess, an agreement uh, um, in this conversation to where both of you are on the same page, right? Something is being received, something is being delivered, but both parties are benefiting, and then it goes away. Well, I find that the more and more you have these conversations, eventually you're going to land on confirmation of these things, and it lines itself up in a way to where you start understanding what decisions to make, right? So I use the example of a good friend that I just spoke to today, and my brother Aaron Cunningham, who has been recently doing Worship Wednesdays. Now, me and Aaron have an understanding and how we know each other is just a lot different from what people may think. But we really, we know each other, and we both come from the same city, been around some of the same people, think some of the same things. Just I guess you would call it kindred spirit, whatever. But I haven't seen him in a while until he moves to Houston, and then after that, we just kind of connected. He did an episode on here, which was a good one. You need to go check that out. But at the same time, every time we talk, it's always positive. Something's always positive about it. Seeds are constantly being planted. And, we eventually had a conversation, just something as simple as, what are we doing for Saturday, which is a party we're going to have. And somehow the algorithm kind of all came together to where he was telling me the conversation we had a while back. There's a lot of confirmation in it, and what that meant. And we started talking about it, and I told him, there's a lot of what he's doing that I'm overly proud of him for doing, but I also am starting to realize the impact that he's having. And for me, I told him, I was like, man, I'm trying to listen to it, but it's a sensory overload for me, right? If you get a chance to listen to it, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that he does. I don't know if I want to call it an episode, but he does it every Wednesday, and he just goes, he basically goes with the Holy Spirit on what music is to be played. And every time I hear it, I can only listen to it for about 5 minutes or so before I start just getting a sensory overload, and it turns a switch on in my head, right? But the beauty in it is in our conversations, we've planted seeds in one another and shared things through counsel that have eventually created an algorithm that brought us to that moment right then and there, where the conversation was not only a validation but positive influence on what the algorithm has done for each one of our lives, right? And that's not to say it's just isolated to me and him. It's just life in general. So I believe that once you speak something into somebody, or you receive a message from somebody, you go out and you apply it into the world, and then you start seeing things that either you weren't looking for before, you weren't clearly understanding, or you just weren't in position to get your answer. But now you've gotten all these signs, these advertisements, these posts, these things that pop up on Facebook, these things that pop up on Instagram. People, coming into your circle or your life, having conversations with you, basically picking up in a manner that is always something that you're putting down to pick up to elevate yourself or make a change in your life. And the algorithm is designed to do just that. Have you found out what your algorithm is? What keeps popping up on your feed, in your mind, on your stream, or your suggestions that cause you to believe that what you're doing is the right thing? Or is it time to make a change? Is it time to pull the trigger on something? Is it time to pivot, as they say? It's funny, I'm watching this show with my wife, The Fall of the House of, don't give me the line. But anyway, this is the new Netflix thing. And they had this business, and in that business, they were always talking about forecasting the future as far as what was going to happen, the projections. And what they really wanted to know, what they really cared about, was always the algorithm. And it's funny how this show gathers a multiple viewpoints, to where it puts it together, that where the algorithm explains why these things are happening. But anyways, the beauty in it is this: nobody knows why things are happening. Sometimes these things happen for a reason. I believe that when God speaks to you, or whoever you believe in, or what you believe in speaks to you, speaks to your inner spirit. It's the moment you listen and you figure out what to do next is the validation that you need that the algorithm in your life is working. So don't change, just do better. That's how I look at it. Anyways, this has been So Says Mr. Thunder. I'm Mr. Thunder. I'm a Native American of this country, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. I appreciate you for coming by and spending a little time with me. What's been on my mind, like I said, I'm still looking forward to the feedback that I've been getting, perfecting my craft and making sure that what I'm putting out here is what God has put me on here to do. And I just appreciate all the support, and I hope that you come back. If you want to get in contact with me, you can reach out to me on the Instagram page, So Says Mr. Thunder. I can be Googled on pretty much all the other podcasts, or whatever membership or subscription you have. I'm pretty sure that I'm part of that platform, whether it be iHeartRadio, Apple, Google, this one is Spreaker, and other ones. Also, be looking forward to some information. I was on a Good Friend from Milwaukee's podcast, and I want to go ahead and make sure that when that comes, I'm able to share all that information that he has for me. So it's a beautiful thing. So stay tuned to hear more about that. I should have more for you by the next episode, and hopefully you've tuned in to a few of the episodes and you got something to say. Like I said, if you got something you want to share, some wisdom that you want to give to us, because it's some knowledge that you gained that is now have been applied to your life and become wisdom, we want to hear about it. Whatever it is, what was that moment where you said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I appreciate you. Come back again. Until next time, y'all be easy. I appreciate you. Bye.